let's take a look at contracts before I go in there and start spending science. Well, we do have the, I guess, the next logical step. I bet you this is orbit the moon. It's orbit the moon. That would seem like the next logical step. So why don't I grab that fella? Grab that fella. And I also have tourists. I was thinking, I got another tourist contract. Oh, it's another suborbital one. Do I have other tourists? Usually by now you're seeing the tourists want to go into orbit. There we go. Here I have some tourists wanting to go into orbit. Might grab that. We'll see. Science from space around the moon. These are easy. If you're going to go do an orbit around the moon, why not grab this one? You're going to be there. So science data from space around the moon. I plan on going back to the moon, so we'll grab that. I'm up to 4. And you know what I think I'll do? Is I think I'll grab... This one has potential. I've done a few of these observational surveys. I don't know if I'm going to do this all this stream. We'll see what we get to. But I've done a few of these observational surveys, but I made sure all of them said below a certain distance because those are much easier. But notice this one does have an above. So I want to show people a really easy way to do the aboves if they're not too far away and if you only have like one of them. So what I might just do, let's just note this one. I want to look at where the waypoints are. So this is Ionic. What are some of these names? Suki's Legacy. Let's look for Suki's Legacy, and I always want to, before I accept it, I want to know where these waypoints are. Suki's Legacy, because if it's way over on the other side of the planet, like it looks like a lot of these are, where is the K? Why am I so? There we go. There's the KS. Okay, what are these? Jebediah. Oh, they're on the other side of the planet. I'm not going to grab those. I'm not going to go flying all the way over to here. That's just a ton of string. Oh, look at the... Oh, my gosh. These... Oh, they're not... If they're on the ice caps, I'd be considering it. But they're not. I could still land on the ice caps. These are all aboves, too. These are a pain. Like, I don't know what the game is thinking about throwing these at you. They are, like, getting 3 different waypoints being above a certain... Not until you get better jet parts. Flying a rocket all the way over there is a big pain in the back end. Okay, okay, this is an above. They're all above. Okay, okay. No, I'm not gonna do it. Not gonna do it. Not gonna do it. I'll wait till I have a suitable above one, and I'll show you how to do it. So let's just do a quick scan of contracts, and then we'll decide what we're gonna do next. So, yeah, I said I wasn't gonna do any of those. These are suborbital. I just want to make sure I didn't miss anything. These are suborbital. I got one of those already. Position a satellite in a specific orbit of Kerbal. Ooh. Pretty high altitude. Inclination. Okay. I like this one. I like this one. I might not get to it today, but this is a good one I think to talk about. So we'll grab that too. Okay. I think I'm pretty happy. Let's go spend some science. Let's go spend some science. So, always like to look down here and look like, for instance, the EVA experiments kit. Always looking for more science to gather. Docking ports. Ooh, docking would be fun. Oh, this is the end of... I gotta upgrade the research and development before I can go any further. Repair kits. Some of those surface science stuff. Gear. Hitchhiker can. Okay, let's look up here. Bobcat, Skipper engine, Poodle engine. Again, these have all been retextured, so don't get too confused. The Might, I'm not gonna. Let's not talk about it. The Spark, I like that engine. Some more small fuel. I want to get some small fuel cans, especially if I'm gonna do a little probe. And then some decent sized, nice big fuel cans too. Yep, grab that. I'm going to look at how much... Oh, I got a lot of money. Let's do some upgrades, too. Oh, this is all robotics stuff. I'll let people know my robotics... I am pretty limited. But, oh, fairings. That sold that one. Better plane parts, including the props, but I don't know if I want to fiddle with that live. My plane's good enough for now. Yeah. Oh, launch escape system. And I don't know why. I think I'm the only one in the world that uses the launch escape system. Bigger heat shields, landing. Oh, the deployable landing gear. Those are a good idea. And the pomegranate. That's the 3-person capsule. Oh. Okay, yeah, this is going to be the last. I shouldn't have been so indiscriminate. But I'm going to grab this one for sure. I love this. This comes with the Making History DLC. The Mark II command pod. It's a 2-person Apollo, but like a Gemini type of capsule, or Gemini, the purists like to say. Okay, so got a lot going on. Can I upgrade this? 450, yes. So let's upgrade the astronaut complex. That's number 1. Going to level. Oh, am I already at level 2? Okay. What do you have to... Oh, it's the astronaut... There's where you do the surface samples. So I'm going to upgrade the astronaut complex just so I can do surface samples. 100%. Yep. So upgrading the astronaut complex not only allows you to go deeper in the tech tree, but it also allows Kerbals to get surface samples. Okay, let's go into here. And let's deal with some Turai. So open up our contracts window. There's all our contracts. Only got 5 of them. So I want to do the tourist one first. So I got these tourists, a suborbital one, and I have orbit. But if they go, you can actually build one craft and do all of this. I think I'm going to build a 2-crewed orbital vehicle and deal with these contracts. That's what I think I'm going to do. And then I'll decide what I want to do. What do you want me to do? Like, what are the other options I got here? I got this Explore the Moon contract, which is do an orbit of the moon. And I have the position a satellite in a specific orbit. So we'll do the tourist one, and then I'll do one of these. Let me know in the chat, and by the time, and I'll just, if it's close, I don't know what I'll do because I'm not going to count. Let's see. We're going to do an orbit. So I'm going to use... This is great. I'm going to use the Mark II. Or can I use the pomegranate? The pomegranate can hold up to 3 Kerbals. I also have this guy, this Mark II, which can hold 2 Kerbals, but it's more streamlined. Let's do the Mark. Let's build just a 2-person one. We'll deal with that later. I'll deal with that later. Okay. Oh, that didn't work. Okay, new. Oh. Okay. There we go. I'm going to start with this guy. So, we'll put on a parachute on the top. I'm hoping that parachute will be good enough. It looks like it fits on there. I'm going to take the flag off. The flag seems to be misbehaving. Are there different textures? Oh, look at that. All that white. Oh, nice. So this is a stock part. This comes with the Making History DLC. We'll put a 1.875 meter heat shield. I love the 1.875 meter parts. They are super duper. This isn't going to be about science. I've collected a lot of science up there. Make a poll. I don't know how to make a poll right now. Is there a... I mean, just looking at the buttons. Yeah, maybe that's something I should have researched before going into it. I'm not sure how to do a poll off the top of my head. We'll put on a decoupler there. Oh, that is the stack separator. Do I not have the decoupler? This one. Beautiful. There we go. And I want to build something, I don't know, maybe about 1,200 meters per second. Now, I do have like these 1.875 meter tanks. And we do have, what are some nice engines? I guess I could still stick with the Terrier. Yeah, I guess I am. What's that do for me? Put this on vacuum. That's not quite enough. I need more fuel. You know what I could do? Do I have a structural... That's the big one, yeah. I'm looking for something that goes from 0.875. Maybe it's this one? No. Really? They don't give me something that go from... Okay, you're going to be a Poopy pants. Fine. Fine. Be that way. Okay. I'll grab the... Oh, maybe it's under fuel cans. This guy? This guy. That's what I'm looking for. There we go. There we go. How's that do with the Terrier on the bottom? 1200. See, this is 1482. That's more kind of what I'm looking at. Okay. Let's go back to the bigger one. I should have looked at the Delta V, actually, or the thrust to weight, too. Make sure that this is 1.21. That's beautiful. There we go. That's the beginning of a nice little orbiter. Now, what I do want to do is put in the 1.25 meter service bay. Open that up. Because this is going to hold tourists, not necessarily pilots, I'm going to stick a probe body in there. Looking like the Octo probe cores going in there. And we'll do the same thing with a bunch of batteries. I guess I can just stick a 200 on the bottom. And solar panels. I'm going to use the same trick, even though I was complaining about making sure before, but... Oh, I'm pushing the reroute tool. Dummy, don't do that. That's the root part. I meant to push that tool. So that we can slide these over a little bit. And... there. Slide these that way. Doesn't need an antenna. This isn't going to go far. It's not going to transmit science, so I think that should be good. And yeah, I think that should work. And now, at the bottom of your chat window is a plus button. I was looking at that. Engage with your audience. Oh, start a poll. Okay, here we go. Here we go. This is all okay. This is learning on the fly. Thank you very much, Web Revolution. So do a poll. So this is going to be what to do next. Tourists. And it's going to... Oh. Is it a yes or no, or can I not change? Oh, I can change that. What to do after the tourists. And the other is moon orbit. Options are moon orbit. Or what was the other option I was talking? Oh yeah, specific orbit. There we go. Boom. Thank you. So that should do poll. There we go. Poll. See where that goes. Guess get back to this, or else I'm not going to be getting to any of that stuff, really. So close that, close that. Let's... okay, that's our orbiter. I like the minimalist engines. There we go. Beautiful. Well, if I'm going to do all that, then that should be dark too. Oh, she's a dark one. Okay. Decoupler. TD-12 decoupler. And I don't think I need to enclose. I think this is plenty streamlined enough. I don't really see an issue here. Now I need to get up and around. Put that there. Let's see what it's like just with one of these guys. Maybe two of them. This might be too heavy. What engines do I got? I still don't have the... Yeah, that's still my most powerful liquid fuel engines, the Reliant. What's that do for me? Delta V's in the right ballpark. Thrust to weight, it's a little... So you know what we're going to do? Here's what I'm going to do. That's a little bit too... I'm looking just getting this to be about a thrust to weight around 2 in a vacuum, and so all I'm doing is taking away or adding fuel cans. There we go, 2 right on the button. So that this will be kind of the intermediate stage, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to put some boosters on it. And what I was doing before was putting on like SRBs, like for instance the hammers for boosters, but I saw after the fact, a comment someone making, might I humbly suggest using liquid fuel boosters, and you're 100% right for the person who was suggesting liquid fuel boosters last week. The liquid fuel engines are way better than the SRBs are cheaper, but if you just get into here, maybe grab... I'm not even going to get into asparagus staging. That's a word. Don't tell me it's not. But then maybe like... I'll talk about asparagus staging in the future, but this is more expensive. If I can bloody grab the thing. Oh, I'm grabbing the ant engine. Grab the swivel engine. There we go. Put all... No, I'm going to even keep it simple. So that's plenty of thrust, plenty of delta V, probably if anything a little bit too much delta V. You can even get this more efficient with getting into asparagus staging, but I'll save that for a future stream. What I'm going to do instead is just kind of scale this down. It was like too much delta V. But then these guys are gimbaled, and you have way more attitude control, way more ability to steer your rocket. This is great. This is great. 3711 meters per second. Don't need more than that. Don't need more than that. Put some nose cones on the top. Slide them down on the decouplers. They're about the same size. Now they are. They're more expensive than the SRBs. They're about the same size as the hammers, but I think more. For pity's sake, come on. Just wanted to move them down a little bit so all the engine bells are sort of more or less in the same zone. There we go. But because these guys will have more control, I won't have to get into big fins or anything like that. I should be able to just use like these small basic tail fins on here, and then that should be enough. Maybe for good measure, a set of reaction wheels. I got the advanced ones now. Ooh, nice. And whoa. Oh, the staging's messed up. 3680 is a little bit on the low side. Well, no, it's not. But for again, I'm gonna say this is for newbies. Let's put on. Why not put on more? Make this thing really easy. 3827. This thing will be really easy to get into orbit. Beautiful, beautiful. Slide these down a little more this way. Slide these up a little more this way. Let's get some launch clamps. I have them, right? I do. A lot of people like to launch these at the same time. There's no reason you can't, but I don't know. I like to start the engine and then release the clamps. This should do it. Very expensive boosters, though, Bravo says, and he's absolutely right. They are, but I don't know about you. I got 330, whatever. Whatever. Money's not a problem. Okay, tourists are going to give us money. Like, if we're going to, like, let's look at our tourist contracts. They deserve the best, right? If we take a look at our tourist contracts here, I will pop them both onto the same one. See, they're going to give us a ton of money, more than paying for those boosters. They deserve them. Yes, they do. Okay, let's tweak TWR. So this is a TWR in the middle core of 1.98. This guy, I want it to be at sea level about 1.3. So I'm only going to launch... There we go, 1.33. I'm only going to put these two engines on at launch, and then this Reliant engine comes on afterwards. More efficient is to have all three go on at launch, use a little asparagus staging, but I'll talk about that. Yeah, I know, I'm already getting the comment about asparagus. I'm going to wait. We're keeping it simple. Maybe next week. Next week we'll talk about asparagus staging. Okay, let's, these are dark. Dark and dangerous boosters. Oh, and we're going to put on the boat tails. Is there a dark boat tail? There is. And boat tail down here. Keep that like that. Not like that. Okay. Well, let's see what happens. Okay, so let's, oh, I did put a pro body in it. So this is the tourist mobile. Not really a mobile, but, you know, we put tourists in it. Let's look. Who do we got here? Let's do the orbit one first. So, Rosbury. Sorry, I know Jeb and Bill really want to go in this thing, but Rosbury's going in. And Anald is going in. There he is. Ambald. Whatever. Ambald's going in. Okay. Alright, so I'm really just considering just pushing this thing off the pad and going. Let's go. So, launch. I'm seeing way back about a heat shield. I did put a heat shield in there. I did. Alright, so... That. And as always, this is a test unless it works, in which case we're going for it. So, and off. Plumes coming from the Waterfall mod, and same with the engine sounds. We'll wait till about 50 meters per second. We'll tap it over. No, that lovely control. Just try turning off SAS and just seeing how this thing just sort of tracks. So right now my hands are completely off the keyboard and I'm just sort of letting it follow that prograde vector, seeing what it does. Might want to put on a SAS. Well, it's starting to roll for some reason, so let's put SAS back on. I'll steer it, fine. And we're on to the next one. And if this all works well with tourists, I might modify this. This might become a nice little design for things like going up to space stations and all of that kind of stuff. So just more or less following that prograde vector up. I'm going to reduce the throttle here a little bit as we get close to 45 seconds. It's nicer when you get that locked prograde button, but that doesn't come until you have better probe bodies. So I'm going to try and keep this time to apoapsis pretty much a constant. Staying on the prograde. Let's try turning off SAS again, see what it does. A good rocket really should just follow that prograde vector while it's in an atmosphere, without you having to do much of anything. Okay. Less on the throttle again. A little bit of heating effects. Not too bad. Those will go away in a moment. Oh! Ran out on that stage onto the Terrier, so I have to increase throttle because this is a much lower thrust to weight ratio now. I'm noticing I'm losing time here a little bit. Now it seems to maybe pitch up a bit. Oh, whoa, SAS on. There we go. Pitch up a little bit. It's getting a little too close to apoapsis. My cat is sniffing the crew. They're very, very good smell. Well, look, especially Ambient. Look at, he's like, I think he would smell good. Just looking at him. All right, reducing throttle again. So you're not suborbital until your apoapsis gets above 70 kilometers. That should be the suborbital part of this. And then the orbit part's getting the periapsis above that, above 70 kilometers. It's a lovely capsule for those people that have not seen it. It's really nice on the inside too. I love these windows. Whoops. Cockpit back. There we go. Okay, so where are we here? I'm gonna just reduce. Sometimes when you do this whole like reducing throttle thing, you end up really kind of skimming across the top of the atmosphere. The thing to do is just reduce your throttle even more, and you still have vertical speed, so just let yourself get up higher in the atmosphere. You don't have to put that much energy into raising your apoapsis anymore, but if you look, I'm putting in a lot of energy into raising my periapsis. So, and if you don't, you know, there's nothing wrong with just punching straight up too. I should really just realize that. You know, not doing this reduced throttle thing. That's my next plan, by the way, for the some people may have noticed I dropped a KSP2 tutorial video, very short, only about 6 minutes. And I got another one planned, and I'll probably drop it next week. Still doing tutorials for KSP1, don't worry about it. And they're much more bigger and involved and involving contracts and all of that kind of stuff. But the next KSP2 one will be doing orbits, which is the same as what it is here. But I'll be doing it in levels, so, you know, I'm kind of doing, you know, you don't have to do this reduced thrust thing. It just makes it more efficient. I don't know. I find it looks a little nicer. Okay, we're at 83 kilometers on the apoapsis. A little bit more like a real launch. I find it just a smidge more satisfying. I don't know if that's... Probably it's just me. I don't know why I bought putting the solar panels on there, because this thing's going to be coming down as soon as we're done with this. Just got to get ourselves out of the atmosphere. And then to... Alright, so times web revolution, that does not deserve a comment. Though I guess I just commented on it, didn't I? Alright, going on to prograde. Yeah, I'm never going to even open these doors for the solar panels. But like I said, this might be just the basic design, and I might build something around it, put docking ports on it, things like that. Get it something that I can use as kind of a low curb and orbit ferry. Okay, we're going to get just, I don't know, 5 seconds away from. Start throttling up here. I barely have to bring up my periapsis at all. So I can see the suborbital part's gone green, and now the orbital part's gone green. And I guess the contract is complete? I think it is. Do I have to bring... Oh, I have to bring them back. Okay, we'll come back. Fine. Come back. Okay. So again, I'm going to try and put it in the ocean here, and I find the best plan for our generally landing is try and pick a spot to always start your descents from when you're in low orbit. So for instance, because I'm playing with the DLCs, I do have these alternate launch sites. I have the Woomerang launch sites right along this peninsula. I'm going to position myself right along that. So that's my common spot I'm always going to start my descent burn from. Then I'm going to put it on the retrograde. And then I'm going to reduce my periapsis to, I don't know, maybe 40 kilometers. I'm just guessing. So about 40 kilometers, and then we'll just do it, and we'll see where we end up. And if it turns out that I end up like way over here, I can go, okay, next time I'm going to bring my periapsis down further. And if it turns out that I come really short, oh, next time I'll bring my periapsis up higher. And that's a way to sort of dial that in. And we shall stage. And of course now we have absolutely zero control. Oh, well, am I? No, I do have electric. Oh, are there no reaction wheels in this thing? There are. I have nothing. I guess because there's tourists, I have nothing. I don't even have... Okay, fine. This thing's just... But, again, aerodynamics will take care of everything for us. We'll see where we end up. Okay, how is our pole up here doing? I can see... Oh, there we go. That's how you open the whole thing. Okay. So the moon is in a slight lead. A slight lead. By the way, whatever one I do not do, I'll be doing the other one afterwards. Probably next stream. Next week. Ah, stable 2. That's why you have to sort of generally get it pointing in the right direction with, you know, the right end down. Because it can be stable the other way around. That's what John's pointing out in the chat. There is a stable 2 with the pointy end forward. So if you start with the pointy end forward, it might find itself stable that way. And that's clearly bad. So just generally get the blunt end forward. And then aerodynamics takes over from that. That'd be toasty. Yeah, it also would probably be unhealthy for this parachute, which is... Oh, where did we end up? I'm not even paying attention. Where did we end up? See, that's not bad. So next time I might go a little bit lower. Maybe like 38 kilometers. Maybe that'll get me a little closer to the... Oh, no, I came short. I'm on the wrong side here, so maybe 45 kilometers. I'm way short. Wow. There you go. And tourists can't EVA or do anything for you, so we're just going to splash and recover. Boosh. Ooh. The closer you are to the KSC, the more money you get upon recovery. I can actually even point it out to you now. So there's a little bit of science we got for some reason. But here, we got 88.9% of our value because we were 193.9 kilometers from the KSC. If we are closer, the number's a little bit higher. You can see, though, it's not a huge deal. All right, let's recover these launch clamps. I hate the fact that I gotta recover those. Let's do the other tourists. So, other tourists. Chadsey and Sondok. Chassis? I can't. I'm already forgetting their names. Chadsey and Sondok. Now, these two just need to go suborbital. So, all we're gonna do, honestly, I'm gonna get super late. We're going straight up. I'm just gonna cut the engines when I'm bored. We're just gonna keep an eye on the apoapsis. We're gonna go more or less straight up. Maybe angle a little bit towards the water here. A little bit, just like that. And also, so our boosters don't fall back on our buildings. It's always kind of nice. But I'm just going until the apoapsis cracks 80, so it's suborbital. I'm not going to go for an orbit. We're just going to come more or less straight down again. It's a waste of a rocket. I agree it is a waste of a rocket, but sometimes my laziness will prevail. I do have a really cheap suborbital rocket because I think our second mission, my second mission was to do a suborbital go get into space. So I do have a really cheap suborbital rocket that's just SRVs. But I don't care, I'm cheap. I'm cheap. I generally don't find money that tight in this game. You know, like really? So I don't really, you know, I put a lot of energy into getting as much science as I can. Money, yeah, whatever. Alright. Oh, you're saying to build a plane to go suborbital. Well, technically, all you got to do is jump in your suborbital. But, there we go, that'll do. And, oh wow, this is going to be... I'm going to throw away that whole bottom part. You know, all you got to do is jump in your suborbital. So, you know, this shouldn't be necessary, but it is. You got to cross the Kerman line. Alright, so 70, and that's that. We just need to get them back safely. Gonna push off this whole... I changed the staging, so all of this is gonna get thrown away. Bye. Uh-oh. And oh no, now I have... Okay. Oh, now we're getting into an interesting... I forgot once I do that, I have no more control. What was John talking about with his stable 2 position? Oh, you know what I can do? Is you can cheat this whole thing, of course, with the magic of time warping. Once it's sort of pointed right, I can time warp to freeze it that way. I'd love to see an aerospike engine introduced in KSP2. I think we're going to be getting a lot of different kinds of engines in KSP2. Right now in KSP2, there's really... Well, there's less. There's less than what's in KSP1. I was stunned that they took away the teeny tiny little RCS thruster blocks. Like, what the heck? Those little tiny ones are great. Why would you take them away? I use them more than I use the big ones. Actually, that's not true, because they put in all kinds of structural parts that are new. And I think a bigger nuclear engine, which is... KSP1 could definitely use a bigger nuclear engine. Alright. So we're going to cover these guys. I'm looking at the poll. I'm going to be... Well, I'll officially end the poll when I recover this, but it really does kind of look like 57 votes. 61% are saying moon. So, moon it is. Moon orbit. That's what we're going for. Boosh. Now, does this sync? No, it doesn't sync. I thought for a second it was syncing before. Okay.